Hey, this your boy J Ray. We're back again for the fifth time, and this time I'm on my iPhone 8 Plus with the front-facing camera. I'm hoping it's looking good to all you guys and gals out there. So I was talking about the Pixel 2 XL. So the Pixel 2 XL, it's got a great camera. It's got fast charging. It's got a decent sized battery. The screen is not horrible. Hey, Tech for Your Needs, thank you so much for joining. The screen is not horrible whatsoever, and it's running pure Android, which is going to get software updates for the next 3 years. Now, that being said, some of my issues, I guess, with the Pixel XL is I wish that they would support the software for up to 5 years. Considering how much you're paying for the phone. Also storage capacity, of course. Oh, you want the Pixel 2 in black? Okay, no problem. Some of the storage options, are there, kind of like iPhone. So one of the things I could not afford to get the 128 gig iPhone 8 Plus or the 256 version for that matter, because if I was going to do that, I might as well have got an iPhone 10, right? But with the way that Apple is optimizing, I went with the 64. So I really have to pick and choose what I store on my phone. I really have to be picky about my storage on my phone with 64 gigs. Now, that being said, it would be the same way with the Pixel, with the Pixel XL 2, because I would be getting the 64 gig version if I got one. Now, I think the thing that I would have really liked to have seen with the Pixel 2 XL is wireless charging. For me and my family, I use wireless charging a lot. As a matter of fact, I just got through buying 2 extra wireless chargers. One for the wife and one for work, which is the one I'm using now to charge my iPhone while I'm live streaming. So that's really awesome. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really liking it. And it's a fast charging, so I don't know how fast my phone's going to charge wirelessly to this, because I don't think Apple's enabled that yet. But the fact that it's there, hey, that's a win-win in my book. Now, like I said, I would have liked to have seen Google do away with the two-tone look. I wish they would have took Apple's route and just went straight glass on the back and did the wireless charging. That would have been good, because with Apple, what's going to happen with Apple, since Apple's implemented wireless charging, you're going to be seeing it everywhere. And a lot of people, and maybe even you Android folks included, are going to be saying, okay, when I go to buy a new Android phone, okay, I want one with wireless charging. I want one because now, with Apple implementing it, I'm going to be able to take my phone to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's or wherever else, Hardee's, Five Guys, whatever, whatever restaurant, Roadhouse, whatever restaurant you're eating at, popular American restaurants, you're going to be able to take your phone there, set it down, and charge your phone while you eat, Now, I don't know if the manufacturers were caught off guard because Apple implemented wireless charging, but at the same time, I kind of think they had to know ahead of time that Apple was working on some kind of wireless charging. I mean, the evidence was kind of out there. We were hearing rumors for quite a while that Apple was going to be implementing. Let's see, the reason it would look an LG phone. Oh, it would look a lot like an LG phone, not like a Pixel 2 distinguishable. But I think they could have differentiated between an LG branded phone and a Google Pixel phone. And the reason that I say that is because they could have put the Google logo. They didn't even have to have the G in it. They could have just put the little, like, how the Google Photos sign looks, since it's all about the Pixel 2 camera. They could have slapped that on the back of it, and everybody would have known, ooh, I hit a goal. Everybody would have known that, hey, this is the Google Pixel 2. We're focused on camera. We're serious about camera. There was ways to distinguish between the Pixel 2, especially if you look at the camera placement on the Pixel 2 XL and the LG V30, right? So, I mean, we know. We can tell the difference. But that being said, I'm not bashing Google. I'm not saying that Google didn't come out with a good phone, because, I mean, Google to me, when I think of Google, I think of off the wall stuff. Google throwing in the whole kitchen sink in their phones, case in point. But that's just me. That's how I feel. And Google could have done that. Now the squeeze feature to bring up Assistant, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about that, because I kind of think it's biting off of HTC, since HTC came up with the whole squeeze thing anyway. And I just kind of feel like that was a feature that wasn't necessarily needed. Now, that being said, I think what Google could have done to really knock it out the park and kind of one-up Apple was to throw the Google-equipped wireless buds in the box. Okay? They were charging 20-something for the dongle. I think it was 20-something for the dongle. Well, they dropped the price down. But hey, Easy, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining. Guys, if you get a chance, check out these guys that are coming through my stream. Easy Computer Solution, another great streamer. Salute to you, sir. Yeah, exactly, Tech. The squeeze feature is not, I feel it's not needed. Now, I think for Google, if they really wanted to get a leg up on the competition, throw in the wireless buds with your phone. Say, hey, not only do we have the Google Pixel 2 with a great camera, we also included the wireless Pixel 2 earbuds with Google Assistant built in. So that way, when you're at that important meeting, or that way when you're in your office jamming out and somebody sends you a text, you don't have to press play to stop the music. You just tap, ask Google Assistant to read your messages, and there it is. They could have done something along the lines of that, right? Same way with Apple. With the iPhone 8, with the iPhone 8, 8 Plus, with the iPhone 10, and now they still may do it with the iPhone 10. I don't know. Probably not. Knowing Apple, probably not. But they should have thrown in these little dudes with the iPhone 8, 8 Plus, and the iPhone 10. These are awesome. I use these at work all the time. They fit in my ears. They work great for me. Now, everybody else has an opinion, just like everybody's going to have an opinion about everything. This is my opinion on these. These are great. They work great for me. I use them consistently day in and day out when I'm at work, when I'm doing stuff around the house, when I'm walking for my health, because I'm a big fat dude that needs to be healthy. So I like to listen to my music while I work. But that being said, I feel like that if Google would have thrown in theirs and said, hey, look, here they are, they're coming with the phone, I think that really would have enticed a lot of people to look at their phone to give their product a chance. Now, like I said, I'm a big fan of stock Android. But And I don't know if it's me, but guys, tell me what you think. Do you feel that, like, okay, Android will come out with something, and shortly later, Apple will have it on their phone, right? And then Apple will come out with something, and then shortly later, Android will have it on their phone, you know, just like portrait mode, you know. Apple's got the portrait mode on here, then Samsung come out with theirs, then Pixel's got theirs, then LG's got theirs, and, you know, they're all doing this bokeh effect and all like this. And to me, it's like, come out with something new. You know what I'm saying? Come out with something different. Come out with something that's completely yours, that's completely new, that nobody else has, that nobody else has thought about, that nobody else has seen, and that makes me go, oh man, that is cool. That is cool. When wireless charging first came out on the Android phone, or better yet, hold up. When NFC first came out on Android, and I seen a buddy of mine, we were walking in the building, and he said, hey man, I'm going to get a Coke. And I said, oh, okay. And I go to pull my wallet out because I'm getting a Coke. And I was like, do you need some money or whatever? Or he's like, no, man, I got it. And he walks up to the Coke machine. He taps his phone up to the Coke machine, and I hear it go, ding. And then the Coke goes, doop, and drops out. I'm like, what did you just do? And he's like, I bought a Coke. And I was like, no. What did you do? And he's like, oh, dude, it's Google Wallet. I can buy anything I want as long as there's an NFC. You know, as long as there's an NFC around, I can buy whatever I want. I thought that blew my mind. My mind literally said, pfft. And I was like, dude, that is crazy. Crazy. I was like, man. Well, then what happened shortly after? Apple got NFC. And what else did Apple get? Apple Pay. So instead of Google fixing Google Wallet or just keeping Google Wallet and then adding features to it, they come out with Android Pay, which I thought was weird. Apple Pay, Android Pay. And then what does Samsung do? Now, hats off to Samsung, because Samsung went about it a whole different way. Samsung said, oh, okay, well, y'all got the little NFC, blah, blah, blah. What if you ain't got an NFC reader and all you got is the magnetic strip? So Samsung was like, hi, MST snitches, we got you. So Samsung, stepped it up. But then what does Samsung do? Oh, this is Samsung Pay. Come on. Google should have kept Google Wallet. Samsung should have named theirs Samsung Pay Anywhere, you know, or Pay As You Go, or something else, you know. But no, they all had to put Pay at the end of whatever it was, you know, which I thought was just nuts anyways. So that's something, you know, that I applaud ZTE for doing with the foldable phone. Thank you, ZTE, for going out on that ranch, for going out there and doing that, being different. Tech for Your Needs says, in today's market, it is hard to innovate because 90% of stuff is done, especially Samsung throwing everything in and the kitchen sink. Hey, big dog, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, now I agree, but I still think there's avenues. Look, here's one of the things that agitates me about Google, okay? And y'all have heard me talk about this before, and I'm going to talk about it again. I do not need 3 messaging apps, 2 pay apps, and whatever, 3 phone apps or whatever. I don't need that. If you cannot find a better way of doing something like Samsung did with Samsung Pay or Google Wallet or whatever, update it. Keep the apps and stuff that people are already using, that people are already used to using, improve them. Google Hangouts, wasn't nothing wrong with Google Hangouts if you would have supported it. Don't pull a Microsoft. Don't pull a Microsoft and say, well, you know, ain't nobody coming to our platform, and you know what? We're not either. We're getting rid of Windows platform. So all of you lucky suckers that bought it, thanks a million, but we're out. Nah, bro. Come on. Fix what you have. You're not going to win people over consistently time and time again if you do not fix the apps that you currently have out there. That's the problem. Hangouts was great. You had a dialer, you had your messaging, and you had your video call all in one app. ZTE Axon M design has been done before, so they are not innovating, just repackaging a design. That is true. It has been done before. But at the same time, shouts out to them for doing it. You know, at least they tried. You know, granted, yes, somebody else has done it before. We've seen it. You know, Nintendo did it. You know, but at least they tried. At least they're trying to show that they're willing to go a different route, that they're willing to look at things a lot, you know, other designs to seek to improve on and stuff like that, which is great. Great. You know, that's awesome. But it's to the point now to where I'm not so much, okay, hardware, okay, you take the iPhone 8 Plus. The hardware is not the greatest. It looks the same as the 6, the 6S Plus, the 7, and the 7 Plus, right? Looks the same. All the iPhones from the 6 to the 7, from the 6 to the 8 look the same. But it's the improvement that Apple made. It's the things that Apple improved upon that set each phone apart, right? Okay, take for instance the 6. Okay, so I had a 6. 6 was good, wasn't bad. Great big phone, nice phone, still really, really fast. But then the 6S comes out. Well, what does the 6S do? It's got a faster processor. Exactly, refinements. That's exactly right, tip for your needs. iPhone 6 to 8 was refinements. So when the 6S came out, then you could talk to Siri just by saying Siri's name, hand-free, and stuff like that. The battery, battery was a little bit better. Battery optimization was a little bit better, So they learned a little bit. Then the 7 came out, and you had the new home button. Pardon me. You had the new home button, dual cameras, stuff like that. But it's the fact that they took what they had and they tweaked it and they made it better instead of coming out with a whole totally new phone and operating system and all this crap. That's what I'm saying. If Google would take the time on their software to optimize Google Hangouts, messages, stuff like that, to make them better instead of constantly replacing them. When you're constantly putting out stuff and replacing stuff that people are used to, people are going to get frustrated with it. Because it's like, okay, I was using Hangouts. I enjoyed Hangouts. But then you weren't updating Hangouts. You weren't optimizing Hangouts. So now you want me to go to Duo and Allo. Why? When the only people that are going to be on Duo and Allo are people on Android phone, or if I can get my iPhone friends to download it. Okay, iMessage works no matter what. It's a killer application for Apple, for iPhone. But that's what I'm saying. And it's that optimization. It's that bringing stuff up to date and improving stuff and constantly working on stuff. I feel that Google really needs to work on. Now, Google, as far as the Pixel goes, it's going to be a great phone. It's going to be a good phone. You know, if you like Android, if you want a really good camera, if you want to be able to have that pure experience and not worry about software updates and not worry about security updates coming from the manufacturer, that you're actually getting it from Google itself. I mean, great phone, great phone. But I still feel like there is software improvements. There are things that Google can do on its software to optimize it, to improve it, to refine it, you know, to make it even better than what it was, you know. I mean, and I agree with you guys. And I would not have gotten this iPhone 8 Plus had we needed it, had my wife not accidentally destroyed her phone. So that being said, we both picked one up because, and I'm gonna tell you guys something. It's for me, for Apple, it's about the ecosystem. It's about me being in the ecosystem, which I do like. And Google, I just wish that Google would work on their ecosystem. You know, that Google would make those refinements. That Google would improve on those things. You know, and kind of really emphasize that hey, you know what, we're going to quit coming out with all these different apps. We're going to narrow it down. We're going to trim some of the fat off this meat, and we're going to make it lean, and it's going to work, and it's going to work really, really good. You know, that's one of the things, you know, and a lot of you guys may be saying, well, they have done a lot, or they have done this, and they have. Google's come a long way in a lot of the stuff that they've done, but look at Android Wear. Android Wear is, you know, it was supposed to be this big deal, smartwatches and stuff like that. But I digress. I'm ranting. I'm not meaning to do that, but I'm just trying to make a point that it's about improving what you got instead of bringing out something new. You know, because sometimes all you need is just a little bit of an improvement on something, and it'll be even better than what it was. You know, now. That being said, Huawei. Woo! Huawei is doing it big. Mate 10 Pro, and I know a lot of people are like, well, it's only got a 1080p screen. Look, man. Yeah, no doubt. Google has been working hard on home automation, and Nest, their Nest products are out the park, baby. Babe Ruth, pointing it over there. Whoo, man, Google's doing some really awesome stuff with Google Home. They really, really are. Now, another one that I think is up and coming, that's doing really, really good is Huawei, man. That Mate 10 Pro, like I said, a lot of people are like, man, it's only got a 1080p screen. I don't care. It's got a 4,000 milliamp battery. The screen is nice and big. The bezels are nice and small. The camera on that thing, I mean, the design of it is sweet looking. Sweet looking. The Porsche design, man, that Porsche design is nice. That thing is a nice looking phone. I mean, I'm not able to get my hands on it. Of course, you know, it comes with the EMUI software skin that comes on top of it. Now, one of the things that I did see that I think was really, really cool, okay, with Samsung, you had to have the little dock, right? You had to have the little DeX dock in order to hook it up to the monitor and then hook it up to your computer, and you could hook up a keyboard and stuff like that. And Huawei was like, nah, man, check this out. Plug it into the screen, plug it into the phone, and then use the phone as a mouse and just go anywhere you want to go. I was like, dude, that is sweet. That is sweet. I mean, that's kind of using the noodle right there. Now, they're also promising updates that you'll receive updates very fast, stuff like that. So, again, I think that's really, really cool. I think that's cool of Huawei to do that. I really do. I think the Mate 10 Pro looks nice. Now it's $900, but that puts it on par with every other phone out there. Every flagship that we've seen come out just about has been $800 to $1,000. $800 to $1,000 is what we're looking at. So, I mean, you know what? It is what it is. You know, either if you want it bad enough, you're going to pay for it. You're going to make payments. Whether you make payments on the credit card or whether you make payments to the carrier, either way, you're going to be paying it out unless you've been saving and saving and saving and saving, and then you sell your phone and you get money and you finally got enough money for the new phone. You know, either way, you're going to be paying. So if you want the latest and greatest, if you want that new hotness, if you want to be the new kid on the block driving with the drop top, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get the latest and greatest. You know, and the Huawei phone, like I said, the design on it, very nice. Very nice design. Now, like I said, I agree, Huawei coming up. Yeah, man. And for a lot of y'all that may not know, I know a lot of us tech guys know, Huawei is really big in China. I mean, like, really big. Oppo, also very big in China. I mean, these are no small companies by any means. I mean, now, the only reason we think that they are small companies is because we don't have them here in the States. Because we haven't started seeing them in the States as of yet. But, let me tell you something. Them dudes, I mean, you got to think, man, China's got over 1 billion people, right? 1 billion people, the same people as you and me. They just look a little different and talk a little different, right? So, Huawei's got 1 billion people that it can cater to. Same with Oppo, 1 billion people that it can cater to. I mean, so if they're putting out phones and they're one of the biggest phone manufacturers in China, for them to be coming over here and with the Mate 10, with the Honor 8, as a matter of fact, the Honor 8 looked good. That blue looked good. All that blue looked real good. But when you look at the Mate 10, that's a good looking phone, regardless if it's got a 1080p screen or not. Remember, 1080p was good for everybody. You know, here, what was it, a few months, a year or so ago, you know, everybody was like, well, why do you need 4K on a screen, or why do you need this? So 1080p is fine, especially if it's going to help you to preserve that precious, precious battery life, you know. In China, Huawei is the king supreme of all cell phones. I believe it, man. I believe it. And, you know, like a lot of other corporations, like a lot of other big conglomerates, you know, that we think about here in the States. You know, when you think about LG, LG makes TVs, refrigerators, stovetops, washers and dryers. Samsung makes the same thing. You know, Apple makes computers, TV boxes, desktops, phones, earbuds, ear cups, over-the-ear headphones. You know, so Huawei's more than likely not just into one thing and one thing only. You know, so you're looking at a major corporation that we're talking about is going to be breaking into the States and is actually gaining ground and foothold in the States because they're offering really nice handsets at a decent price. Now, not saying that about the Mate 10 because the Mate 10 is going to be coming out at a premium price. But, you know, when you look at the Honor 8, when you look at some of the other phones that they're coming out with here over in the States, hey man, their budget handsets are not bad. Not bad. But, you know, and it is what it is. Now, you know, let's see. There was something else I wanted to talk about. Of course, we got a new Google Home. I talked about that last Tech Tuesday when we were talking about Google I/O. Well, not Google I/O, but Google announcing the Pixel 2. Also, waiting on the Apple iPhone 10. Man, I really want to see the Apple iPhone. I want to see the iPhone 10 go against these specific handsets. I want to see the iPhone 10 go against the Google Pixel 2 and the Note 8. Those are the big ones I want to see the iPhone 10 go up against. As a matter of fact, there's a YouTuber that has a video comparison between the Apple iPhone 8 and the Google Pixel 2. I want to finish watching that. I want to see what the comparisons are, the photos and stuff like that. Now, one of the things that I really want to see, that I would love to see a comparison on, is using every assistant in a day in the life. So I'm not able to do this because I don't have the production skills nor the production stuff necessary to pull this off. But what I want to see is, I want to see somebody use Siri all day, one day, just one day. I want to see them use nothing but Siri. Ask Siri whatever they want to ask, whatever they would normally ask, stuff like that. You know, I want to see them ask Siri and use Siri, right? Then turn around the next day, I want to see them use Google and use nothing but Google Assistant the whole day, all day, just like they did with Siri. I want to see them do that. Then I want to see them use Bixby all day, same thing. Then I want to see them use Alexa all day, same thing. I want to see that comparison, because these phones are getting to where, like, I use Siri a lot. A lot of people say, well, I don't like Siri, I don't use Siri. I'm not one of those people. I use Siri a buttload. All throughout the day, all day, 7 days a week, all the time. Now, I will say this. I have gotten addicted to using Google Assistant, but I only use Google Assistant for one thing. Let's see. What do you think about all this biometric signing ways on your phones? Are we losing our... Oh, well, from what Apple said with the Face ID is not stored in a server. It's not stored in Apple. It's stored on your phone. It's specifically stored on your phone the same way that Touch ID is. Which, in and of itself, is pretty cool that they're taking your security very, very serious. Now, as far as it being secure, your finger, as far as privacy, you know, this is something, you know, everybody talks about privacy, how everybody's, you know, my privacy. Are you really concerned, and I'm just throwing this out there in general, are you really concerned about your privacy when you're on Snapchat, when you're on Facebook, when you're on Google+, when you're on Messenger, when you're on any other app, you know, Instagram, whatever, and you're using these apps, you know, and you're constantly using social media, and you're constantly using YouTube and letting, you know, I want to search for this, or I want to search for that, you know, knowing that Google documents your search history so that way they can pull up what they think you'll be interested in next. Google tracks where you're going, same as Apple, so that way they'll know, hey, it's going to take you this long to get to work today because traffic is backed up or whatever. I mean, are we really concerned about privacy? Because when we talk about privacy, when we talk about wanting our information safe, the only way that our information is going to be safe is if we get off technology completely. If we don't use the computer, if we don't use YouTube, if we don't stream content, if we don't have nothing plugged into the internet and go back to the way it used to be when we actually had to talk to each other, when we actually had to write a letter to communicate and wait to get a letter back, or we had to pick up the telephone call. We had to pick up the landline telephone and actually call somebody and say, hey man, how you doing? Whatever. That's the only way. So, I mean, to me, I'm not as concerned about it because I do take steps like my social media. I'm not on a whole lot of social media. YouTube and Facebook is about it for my social media. And Google Plus. I am on Google Plus, but I don't check Google Plus all that often. But it's something that I think Apple has taken great pains, and Google too, and Samsung to an extent, has taken great pains to say, hey, we want you to use our product, but we want you to feel safe using our product. So no, as far as biometrics, the only time I'm going to really freak out about being secure in biometric technology and stuff like that is when they start telling me that I cannot buy or sell groceries without having a chip in my hand, that I can't go to work without having a chip in my hand. No, we're not doing that. We're not getting any implants. I'm telling you here, I'm telling you now, as a Christian, I'm not doing the implant thing. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it. So if that makes me an outcast or a technophobe or whatever, a Luddite or whatever you want to call me, hey man, it is what it is, but that's where I'm drawing the line. So that being said, I mean, other than that, no. I mean, because I like technology. I like having a smart home. I like being able to tell my lights when to come on, when to come off. I like being able to set up my lights in my house so that when I go to bed, certain lights are on that are a night light. I like being able to tell my assistant to turn the TV on. This is what I want to watch. I like being able to ask my assistant, hey, if I walk from here to there, how many feet or how many steps is that or whatever, or how many calories am I burning, or what's my heart health, or stuff like that, to help me to be healthy, to help me to stay in shape, to walk, to learn, to do stuff like that, to stay in touch when my wife whose health, if she needs something, I'm right there because I got my AirPods in. So if I'm around, if I'm walking somewhere and there's something loud going on, I can still hear her. I can still hear her call if she needs me. If I'm in a meeting and I get a phone call, I can look at my watch and see whether or not, hey, my wife needs me, or somebody sending me a message, or there's some emergency going on. Because you have to think, 20 years ago we didn't have this. 20 years ago in the 80s, and in the early 90s, we would have never thought as cell phones, being what they are, being portable computers, being small computers. So the fact that, 20, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, if an emergency would have happened and I was at work, then I would have to call out there to work, and then I have to wait for the supervisor to go and get me, to come and get me, and then I'd have to, if I'm in a paint booth or if I'm doing something heavy metal, yeah. Well, I don't know about Jetson, but it's getting closer. It's actually getting closer. But if they would have to come and find me, and you're still waiting on the phone, so you may be waiting 10, 15, 20 minutes, and if it's an emergency, then, something could have already passed by the time I got to the phone or by the time something happened, So technology is a blessing and a curse, because I think without technology, we would not have all this chaos that's kind of going on now. We wouldn't have people just being complete idiots on social media. But at the same time, with technology, we're able to connect with more people. We're able to spread our ideas, to spread our thoughts, to interact with people that had we not had technology, we would have never been able to interact with before. You know, we would never be able to take trips around the world and yet stay in the comfort of our home. You know, we would never be able to take, yeah, I'm back, Phone Tech. I'm definitely back. But, you know, without technology, we would not be able to read books that, you know, we possibly would have never been able to read otherwise. And not just read books, but to discuss those books, to learn about other cultures, to even learn about history, and to see history reenacted and come alive with the aid of technology. You know, because, you know, you got to think about this now. Think about the 70s and 80s. When you watched a TV program, it had to be produced. There was actors. There was all this stuff. Now they do it in CG. So technology has really made a lot of improvements. You know, look at the microwave. Before the invention of the microwave, to heat up some leftovers, you was either heating it on the stove or heating it up in the oven. You know, there wasn't a lot of hot meals out at the job site. Your butt was eating some bologna sandwiches, some turkey sandwiches, some ham sandwiches, or you was going to some restaurant or something to get a hot meal because, by God, you was hungry. Now, shoot, man, I'm eating spaghetti, pizza, pork chops, baked potatoes, steak. I'm heating up steak, hot dogs. I mean, so there's a lot of things that technology has really helped us improve on. Now, what I think we as a culture has to do is come together and say, okay, this is acceptable. This is what's acceptable, and this is what's unacceptable. Because right now, you know, the internet is just a wild, wild west. You know, anybody can put anything on the internet, can say anything on the internet, can do anything on the internet because you're on the internet. You know, and I think it's one of those things because I've been seeing, you know, you can watch World Star Hip Hop, you can watch all these YouTubes and stuff where people are getting in fist fights because of something that they put on Facebook, you know, and it's kind of like, look, if you don't want people to know that, don't put it on Facebook. Don't put your life on social media. There's a reason why some things need to be private and kept private, you know. But at the same time, just because you see it on social media still doesn't give you the right to go and kick down somebody's door, you know. You can say, hey, look, I ain't going to have nothing to do with you since you're talking about me like this, blah, 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 whatever. You know, we have to find out where and when to take the high road. You know, when to say, okay, well, if you're going to talk about me on social media, then I'm going to cut you off. I ain't got nothing to do with you no more. I'm gone with you. Bye, Felicia. That's it. You know, but we haven't gotten there yet. When is enough? When are we going to get to the point to say, okay, if you wouldn't say this in front of somebody to their face, you know, to say it to somebody's face, then, you know, people have become desensitized to it. You know, people no longer think about it as being, I don't know, wrong or anything like that. You know, so I don't know. That's how I feel about the whole privacy thing. I really don't think it's an issue. You know, I mean, because if it's an issue to you, then you really don't need to be on the internet or doing anything on the internet. You need to just truly unplug, and I think that's the best thing a lot of times. But that being said, guys, I have been talking for a little while, and it's just about bedtime. So thank you all. Thank you, each and every one of you. If you're just now joining my stream, if you're just now seeing this, I'm sorry you tuned in at the end, but please hit that like button, pound that subscribe button, just help me out. Help me out. I'm trying to get to 200 subscribers, and I really appreciate the help. As always, this is your boy Sub-Zero J Ray saying peace. Have a blessed night. I'm out.